The story begins with a woman named Polly. Her phone was filled with several unseen voicemails, and she had many pending tasks piling up. Even the plants in her house had withered and died. Polly sat down to prepare for a job interview. Just then, a woman appeared outside her house. She had lost her way, standing outside in the cold, shivering. Polly invited her inside. The woman had a bandage wrapped around her hand, looking extremely anxious and distressed. Polly offered her water. The woman had her son's mobile number with her and then asked, "Are you married?" Polly answered, "No." The woman said, "This house, it's a lot for a young woman." Polly explained it belonged to her sister, who, along with her husband, had rented it out to Polly since they needed a bigger home for their daughter. Then, the woman said, "I'm going to start now." She pulled a box from her suitcase and placed it in front of Polly. Inside the box was an hourglass. "You are going to die tonight," the woman said, her voice cold and firm. Polly was terrified, unable to understand why this woman would say such a thing. The woman added, "You have to do things." She thanked Polly for the water and then said, "Don't you dare tell anyone." Polly pushed her out of the house, telling her she had to leave, but the woman called Polly by name. Polly had never told her what her name was. The woman said, "I am sorry." So Polly called her mom and explained everything. She mentioned that the woman had left a box with her. Her mom asked if there was a bomb inside it. Polly quickly replied, "No, it's just an old wooden box that the woman left in the middle of the road." Polly wondered if she should call the police, but her mom reassured her. "It's probably just some weird cult nonsense," she said. "Don't worry. Focus on your interview tomorrow." Still shaken, Polly went inside and took a shower, trying to clear her mind. She then started trying on different dresses for the next day, but none of them felt right. Sitting on her bed, she scrolled through her phone to distract herself. But then, behind her, she heard something stir. Startled, she rushed downstairs and lit a cigarette, trying to steady her nerves. Her phone buzzed again. Her mom calling. Polly answered, her voice shaky. "I'm losing my mind. I just heard your voice. I could even smell your perfume." Her mom told her to calm down, but Polly couldn't shake the feeling of dread. She went back upstairs and checked her room, but there was nothing there. Then, something caught her eye. The box had somehow made its way back into the house. Her mom suggested, "Maybe you brought it in." Polly, trembling, reached for the hourglass inside the box. It felt cold to the touch, almost as if it had been waiting for her. But without Polly even saying anything, her mom already knew. This wasn't Polly's mom. Someone laughed in her voice and said, "You are going to die." Polly hung up the phone, terrified and confused. Then, the doors in her house began slamming. Panic surged in Polly's chest as the noise echoed through the empty space. She grabbed her phone, desperate for answers, and received another call from her mom. In her mom's voice, the thing on the other end said, "You are going to die unless you put 3 things inside that box. These 3 things are something you hate, something you need, and something you love," it continued. Polly felt the weight of the choice, knowing the box would reject anything wrong. She hesitated before placing her cigarette box inside. The sand in the hourglass started falling, and Polly's throat tightened, choking her. She gasped for air, feeling like she was suffocating. Suddenly, a key forced its way out of her throat. Panicked, Polly set the key aside and rushed to her neighbor's house. She needed to use the phone to call the police. But her neighbor was already on the phone talking to her husband, who was at the airport. Polly waited, trying to steady her nerves. Then her neighbor received a call from the police. Confused, Polly watched in horror as the neighbor pulled out a knife and slit her throat. Polly went back to her house, her mind racing. The sand in the hourglass was falling rapidly, like time was slipping away. Just then, a photo fell from the wall, and Polly noticed with horror she had disappeared from it. Her phone rang. It was her dad. She answered, but the voice on the other end was wrong. Her dad had been dead for years. In his voice, the thing on the other end said, "Something you hate, baby doll, not something you're supposed to." The thing knew everything. Her dad, her childhood. It asked, "What did you lose the day I died?" Polly picked up the key that had come out of her throat. It felt cold and foreign in her hand. She immediately recognized it as the key to a drawer built into her closet. Inside the drawer, she found old photos of her dad. One photo stood out. Her dad was wearing a cross, the same cross that now lay in the drawer beside the picture. Polly's hand trembled as she picked it up. The moment she closed her fist around the cross, the lights in the room began to flicker, casting eerie shadows on the walls. The door leading out slammed shut, locking itself. A cold hand reached out from behind Polly. Panic surged as she spun around, eyes scanning the room for the source. Then, a demon, its face twisted into a grotesque mockery of her father's, lunged at her. Polly gasped, realizing what she truly hated. It wasn't her father. It was the emptiness left by his death. It was God for taking him away. With shaking hands, Polly raised the cross, about to place it into the box. As she did, the box accepted it, and the hourglass restarted. The hourglass started again, its sand falling in slow, measured increments. Polly's mind raced as a woman's voice began to speak. But it wasn't just any voice, it was her own reflection in the mirror, cold and detached. "You are dead." "You are dead," it repeated, the words seeping into Polly's soul like a haunting chant. She couldn't look away. In her hand, a cutter materialized, sharp and dangerous. The same cutter appeared in her real hand as if mocking her. Her phone buzzed again. It was her sister's name flashing on the screen. But could she trust this? "I see your car outside," her sister said, her voice calm. No, don't let me in," Polly shouted, a deep fear clawing at her chest. The call ended abruptly. Panicking, Polly rushed to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. She pushed harder, but the lock had clicked. Her heart pounded as she tried the windows, but they were sealed shut, the glass unbreakable. The box demanded something she needed. What could it mean? Frantically, she asked aloud, "Please, tell me what you want." And then, as if in answer, the television flickered to life. On the screen, a videotape played. Her niece Amy, her tiny hands wiggling Amy's toes. The message was clear. The box wanted Polly's smallest toe, or Amy would be hurt. Polly's stomach churned, but she knew what she had to do. She gripped the cutter, and with trembling hands, she sliced off her toe, the pain shooting through her like a red-hot flame. She placed it in the box, quickly bandaging her foot to stop the bleeding. But something was wrong. The demon version of her mom appeared in the doorway, her eyes hollow. Polly checked the box, but it hadn't accepted her offering. Screaming in pain, Polly finished the task. The moment she placed her finger in the box, all the lights in the house went out. She tore off her top, using it to stop the bleeding from her hand. This time, the box accepted both of her fingers. The door leading out of her house opened. Polly ran straight to her sister Lainey's house. The door to Lainey's home was open as well. Music blared at full volume from inside. Polly heard her sister's voice upstairs. But when Polly entered her sister's room, Lainey lay on the bed, her eyes wide open and unblinking. Panic gripped Polly as she rushed to Amy's room. Amy's eyes were open too. Polly hugged her tightly, tears streaming down her face. She thought they were both dead. Crying, she kept whispering, "I didn't do it, I didn't do anything." Suddenly, the music started again downstairs. Polly rushed down to turn it off. That's when she noticed the box had arrived on its own. All the phones in the house began ringing, one after another. Polly picked up a phone. It was her niece's voice on the other end. Amy had used to call Polly like this. "Andy P.," Amy said. Polly, shaking, asked, "What's happening?" "You killed them." "No," Amy replied. "You did." The voice grew eerily calm. "You gave what you wanted to give, but did you truly need it, Andy P.? Tell me, what do you love?" Polly, choking on her fear, said, "I love them." Amy's voice asked again, "Did you?" Polly whispered, "I love you." In desperation, Polly grabbed a knife and rushed to Amy's room. On the phone, Amy said, "I think you should take my nose." But Polly, shaking, decided to cut off strands of Amy's hair instead. She began placing them in the box, trembling with each movement. "What if you're wrong, Andy P.?" Amy's voice came through again. "Will it be over?" With fear clouding her mind, Polly closed the box after putting in the hair. The call ended abruptly. She opened the box again, and to her horror, the strands were gone, meaning the box had accepted them. Just then, Lainey came downstairs, completely fine. Polly rushed to Amy's room. Amy was awake now, appearing perfectly fine, but as Polly looked into her eyes, Amy transformed into a demon. Screaming, Polly turned to run, but Amy lunged forward, stabbing her. Polly collapsed to the floor, gasping for breath, but when she opened her eyes again, she found herself back in her own house. The box had followed her, She had done everything, every horrific thing the box demanded, and yet the game wasn't over. Crying, Polly whispered, "What more do you want?" She placed her ring in the box. It disappeared as expected. Next, she put in her locket, then her blood, hoping that would finally end it. But just then, a hand reached out from inside the box, pulling her toward it. Polly barely managed to escape its grasp. Desperate, she cried, "What is left?" Then, the memory of the woman who had given her the box resurfaced. Polly understood. She had to pass the box on to someone else. Polly went around her neighborhood knocking on doors, but no one answered. Finally, a young girl opened the gate. Polly, exhausted, explained, "My house is nearby. I lost my keys somewhere, my sister's place, but they're not home. I just need to make a call." The girl hesitated but let Polly inside. She apologized for the intrusion. The girl asked what happened, but Polly, too terrified to speak, said nothing. The girl took her phone and stepped aside. Polly, shaking with fear, pulled the box from her bag and placed it on the girl's table. The girl returned and said her parents would be home soon. But Polly suddenly spoke. "Your name is Tara." The words escaped her lips. Though she couldn't explain how she knew, the girl, Tara, froze. "You need to leave." Polly realized she could have kept the box to herself, but she lacked the strength to continue enduring this nightmare. She was broken, and passing it on was the only way to stop it. "I'm going to start now," Polly said softly, her voice trembling with fear and acceptance. She pushed the box toward Tara. "You are going to die." As Polly turned to leave, the old woman appeared behind her, even worse than before. The box wanted her to kill Polly. The woman attacked with scissors, her movements frantic and desperate. A struggle broke out. In the chaos, Polly fought back, finally killing the woman in self-defense. Breathing heavily, Polly asked, "Why me?" The old woman, as she was dying, whispered, "Someone came to my door too. It could have knocked on anyone's door, but I think it chooses us. It targets our vulnerabilities. We're broken." With a final gasping breath, she added, "Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of dying." She smiled weakly and said, "Thank you," before she passed. In that moment, Polly understood. From here on, she could see their past meeting, the woman knowing her future and her own future now intertwined with the box's curse. The sand in the hourglass was running out. Polly began hearing the voices of her mom, dad, Amy, everyone whispering, "You are going to die." The words echoed relentlessly in her mind, but Polly remained still, doing nothing, unsure of how to react. She couldn't understand why they were coming now, or why they seemed so real. Her heart pounded in her chest, but she remained frozen. As the final grains of sand slipped through the hourglass, Polly remained motionless. When it finally ran out, the scene abruptly shifted to the next day. Polly's niece, Amy, was perfectly fine, laughing and playing at home as if nothing had happened. Her sister, too, was unharmed, though the house was in disarray, things scattered across the floor. Polly couldn't help but wonder what was real and what wasn't anymore. Polly, on the other hand, had regained consciousness. Her index finger was missing. She stood up, feeling a strange, detached sense of horror. As she went outside, she looked around, stunned. Her neighbor was alive. Polly then went to meet Amy. To her relief, the little girl was unscathed, smiling as if the nightmare had never occurred, searching for answers. Polly made her way to the home of a young girl named Tara. She confronted her, saying, "You can't play with this. Give it to me." But Tara, confused, replied, "What are you talking about? I don't know you." She didn't recognize Polly. Defeated, Polly left and walked to the middle of the road. She lit a cigarette, trying to clear her mind. Her phone vibrated, but she didn't answer. After a while, it stopped on its own. Polly continued on her way, but Tara was watching her from the window. Tara had lied out of fear, terrified of the box and its curse. She too had cut off her fingers and even killed her own parents to survive, and with that, the story ended here.